Hello YouTube, this is Neon. Today the topic of my discussion is going to be learning from adversity and defeat. This is one of the laws of success that Napoleon Hill talks about. I want to tell you what has happened to me recently. So, similar to the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, one thing after another has just gone awry. It's just gone awry as I just am living my life. So I go down to a street market recently, well yesterday, and there's four youngsters, they're like teenagers. They're coming up and I'm walking with my little cart, and I managed to separate the four of them. One goes in front of me and there's three behind me. So I'm in a terrible mood, and one of the four, there were two girls and two boys. One of the four, which is one of the girls, she says, kind of rudely, she says, "Excuse me, can you get out of our way?" So in a fit of anger, I took my little cart. I have a long sock I tie around the handle because it's a little too short to comfortably pull along, and I jerk it out of their way as quickly as I could. Now I run into a bunch. I knock over some products because many of the stores along this particular part of the sidewalk I was walking on display all of their stuff all outside. It kind of cramps up the sidewalk, but each neighborhood has their own style. So they walk past, because I did get out of their way, and then the girl says something else that's smart. After which, at the top of my lungs, like somebody who is about to commit murder, I called her the B word, and I screamed it at the top of my lungs. One of the young men said something offensive, and I just sat there and I watched them, hoping that they didn't decide to gang up and kick my butt, which they didn't. But and unfortunately they were going to this little street market as well, so I had to keep my eyes out and making sure that none of them, particularly the one that pretty much defended himself and spoke up and was a little threatening back to me, that he didn't try to attack me, because he was talking to some other guy, and I thought, are they trying to arrange something? So that's what happened, okay? I am not, first of all, I'm in my mid-40s. These youngsters were probably teenagers. That sets a really terrible example, my behavior. I'm not going to sit here and worry about their behavior. My behavior sets a really bad example for young people to deal with frustrating situations by fits of anger and cussing at someone. So this is an example of learning from adversity and defeat. I have all of these different things that were going awry before and after. And when I encounter that situation, I responded in anger. And it's not a good thing. It is not a good thing. In LA, you can get beat up, you can get killed, you can get a black eye for yelling at someone, for screaming at someone. It doesn't matter if they were rude first. None of that matters. The ideal is just to be able to control my emotions, control my anger, and control my actions, and control my mouth when I'm under stress, because so many things are going awry. And trust me, there was many, and I'm not going to bore you with the details. Just watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and that'll give you a picture of how my life was going. In the end, I find myself thanking God for all these terrible things happening. And I'm not going to say terrible, it's those little annoying things that happen each and every time, consecutively. And I even thank God for me having that fit of anger, because it's another reminder that with my mental health issues, which plays a role in my having a lack of impulse control, it's a reminder that I have to control myself, I have to control my temper, I have to use love, which God has given me, the visualization of sending and receiving love at all times, which keeps me out of trouble most of the time. This time I didn't resort to visualizing sending and receiving love. This situation is a reminder to me that I need to understand that when I'm stressed out, and this was more stress than normal that day, that I need to be aware that I need to depend on the visualizations that I use of sending and receiving love even more. I need to be aware that I'm vulnerable for having an attitude or having a fit of anger and in public with a stranger that could result in me getting a black eye or me having to physically defend myself. I have to be aware that I'm vulnerable to lacking impulse control and to having a fit of anger. I need to be aware of that. I need to guard myself against having those fits of anger. I need to be aware that no matter how much I'm going through, people don't deserve, and this includes when people are being rude to start off with. I'm not here to try to be a 5-year-old and say, well, he did it first. No. Did she punch me in the face? You know, did she kick me? No. She just said something that I should have ignored. So I'm not here to really worry about that. What I'm here to worry about is my behavior and my impulse control. And so I'm grateful that that happened, because you know, it's just a kind of a painful reminder that I need to treat people well when I'm going through a lot of stuff. Rely on my visualizations and be aware and conscious that I'm going through a lot of stuff, and visualizing sending and receiving love to people is something that needs to be very, 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 I need to be very, very on guard for. It's almost like if a person knows they have some kind of an issue, perhaps an asthmatic issue, and they have to do that with those little pumps, and maybe they're vulnerable when it's 90 degrees. They need to be more aware to bring their pump with them. I don't know what it's called. And I need to be like that mentally and emotionally. I need to be more ready and more aware and more conscious to visualize sending and receiving love, so that my interactions with people aren't rude, aren't rough, unkind, impatient, and these kinds of things that really, I don't want to put myself in danger. I really don't, because somebody said something, I don't want to put myself in danger. I rather deal with it by visualizing sending and receiving love and being polite anyway. So learning from adversity and defeat, this was a powerful lesson. It was a powerful lesson. Once I yelled at the top of my lungs the B word to this girl, I didn't say anything else, and I kept my distance from them, and I just made sure they didn't come to try to hit me. I want to say that, be aware that I personally, I don't believe in asceticism. And this is not about asceticism. This is not about purifying ourselves by torturing ourselves. Whether it's through fasting, whether it's through flagellation. There's many religions, including Christianity, where there's people that will do this. And I believe that taking a sexual fast or a food fast, those can be good, but they can be taken to the extreme. And sometimes the universe really needs to put us through the fire in the way that the universe, or that the God of our understanding, chooses best. So I'm not talking about asceticism. I'm talking about the things that the universe throws at me nonstop. And me still being a gentleman, me still being polite, and me controlling my anger, my emotions, and my behavior. Learning from adversity and defeat. And so I hope this situation really sinks in, and that I do what I'm telling you beautiful people right now, which is I am polite and kind and forgiving and patient no matter what circumstances, and that I rely on sending and receiving visualizations of love when I'm going through hell, and that I be more really eager and conscientious about relying on these visualizations of sending and receiving love when I'm going through hell. So that's the bulk of my talk. I hope that this has been of help to you. If so, please share. And if it wasn't helpful, I don't want to know. Like, subscribe, share, comment, commercials, recommend my videos. Do one or more of those things if you like this video. Thank you. Wishes.